Hey guys, thanks for tuning in here. We're going to be working on solving absolute value equations. Um, this is going to be probably a short video because I also have another video that's solving absolute value inequalities. But for this one, we work with equations. This equations will have an equal sign in it. So for this problem here, it says the absolute value of x is equal to 6. Well, a lot of you might think, well, x can equal 6. Yes, you're right. That's true. But don't forget, the absolute value of 6, that's not an absolute value sign. The absolute value of 6 is equal to 6, but also the absolute value of negative 6 is equal to 6. So there are two answers, 6 and negative 6. And using that concept here, when we do an absolute value equation problem, like this one, it says the absolute value of n minus 4 is equal to 1. Well, we know that whatever is in the absolute value, it must equal positive 1 and it must equal negative 1. So let's look at what we have in the absolute value. We have n minus 4 in the absolute value. Like I said before, it must equal positive 1 and n minus 4 must also equal negative 1. This is probably a concept that you'll forget if you're going to forget something here, is that it needs to be positive and negative. And I looking here, and you just solve these like you normally do. N is equal to 5. N is equal to 3. So there are two values for 3, or two values for n that you can have, 3 and 5. So look at what we're going to do here. We're going to substitute. Substitute n equals 5. So 5 minus 4 is the absolute value of that equal to 1. Well, 5 minus 4 is 1. The absolute value of 1 is equal to 1. N equals 3. So 3 minus 4, is that equal to 1? 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And so yes, the absolute value of negative 1 is 1. Let's look at this problem here. Y plus 6 is equal to 15. So we know that whatever's inside the absolute value must equal a positive 15, and it must equal a negative 15. And then we solve. Y is equal to 9. Y is equal to negative 21. So your two answers, y is equal to 9, and you can put a comma here, 9 and 20, or negative 21. So just got one question here for you. I had this thought the other day, and I was just wondering, who tastes dog food when it has a new and improved flavor? I'm like, still trying to figure that one out. So if you come up with the answer to that one, let me know. Once again, who tastes dog food when it has a new and improved flavor? Hey, how about this problem? Go ahead and try this problem. Pause the video, and I'll work through it here in 1 second. All right, so let's look here. We have h plus, or the absolute value of h plus 10 is equal to 8. So we know that whatever's in the absolute value must equal a positive 8, and whatever's in the absolute value must equal a negative 8. And we solve. The opposite of adding 10 is subtracting 10. So we get a negative 2 there. H is equal to negative 18. So there are your two answers. H is equal to negative 2 and negative 18. This problem here is very, very similar to what we've been solving, but the issue now is that we're adding 5 to whatever's in the absolute value. So this right here in the absolute value is not equal to positive 12 and negative 12. We have to figure out what k minus 1, what the absolute value of k minus 1 is equal to. So in order to do that, we just have to get rid of this 5 first. So now we have the absolute value of k minus 1 is equal to 7. And then I think from here you can go ahead and solve that out. That'd be good practice for you. Go ahead and solve that out and pause the video and then check your solution in 1 second. So we know k minus 1, which is in the absolute value, must equal positive 7, and k minus 1 must also equal a negative 7. We add 1 to both sides, so k is equal to 8. Go ahead and do the same thing, and k is equal to negative 7 plus 1, negative 6. So your answer, k, I should have paid a little more attention. It was a lowercase k, so you should use lowercase k in your work. 8 and negative 6 are the answers for it. Go ahead and see if you can solve this one out. Remember, you have to get the absolute value by itself on the left side. So what do you have to do in order to do that? So go ahead and do that real quick. Pause the video. I'll work it out in 1 second. Okay, to get the absolute value by itself, the absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to negative 2 plus 7 is a 5. And so now we know whatever's in the absolute value must be equal to a positive and a negative 5. So x minus 3 must be equal to a positive 5. X minus 3 must be equal to a negative 5. We add 3 to both sides of the equation. X is equal to 8. Go ahead and add 3 again to both sides of the equation. X is equal to negative 2. So x is equal to 8 and negative 2. Okie dokie. One last question here to give you something to think about. Have you ever thought about why sheep don't shrink when it rains? That's a good one. Why sheep do not shrink when it rains? If you're having a little tough time wrapping your mind around that one, ask your folks. They might be able to help you out. And then let me know. I'm trying to get some of these questions answered here. Trying to get some things figured out. And so that's what we're trying to do. F minus 6 is equal to 7. So, or I'm sorry, the absolute value of S. Wow. Let me try that again. Hit the rewind button for a second. The absolute value of F minus 6 is equal to 7. So we know that whatever is in the absolute value, it must equal positive 7, and it must equal a negative 7. So we're going to add 6 to both sides of the equation. 7 plus 6 will give you 13. We're going to add 6 to both sides of the equation. Negative 7 plus 6 will give you a negative 1. So the answer, f is equal to 13 and -1. Absolute value equations will have two answers. I think that's all we have for solving absolute value equations. Just short, quick video here. Don't forget to check out Solving Absolute Value Inequalities. It's very similar to this. Just one other small thing to remember with that. I'll see you guys on the flip side there.